So last video I said we should file a class action suit, all the black original nation of the planet. The one that's creating the most havoc, the Caucasian. All this chaos on the planet. If you notice, you see he the one that's starting it. He don't have a nation. That's why he's trying to take control. He's the one that's really insecure. But he did a nice job through the Willie Lynch theory, making us insecure of ourselves. Using the Bible to further trick us into believing that he's God, he's in superiority over us. And all you got to do is get some of that foolishness out you and just pay attention to how the Caucasian move, because he trips himself up. How did he trip himself up? Well, I'm not going to go back as far as Lincoln being shot in the head, but let's go back to Kennedy. Study the history of Kennedy and his family. And he got shot. It was gangsters. It's a gangster's world. A gangster's paradise. And then you go back to the Epstein cover-up, saying he was killed in jail. Now, a lot of you don't look at world news and know that Ethiopia is in a war. How do you know about Ethiopia, though, in these times? Through Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey Hussle, you know, maybe he knew a little bit more than he should know. And was doing a little bit more than he should do. That's why they took him out. You see, y'all just look at what the stars are doing, what Denzel doing, and see they are an abstraction. But if you listen close to the Caucasian, they at war with each other. It's like the Civil War all over again, North against the South, and it's like the liberals against the conservatives, something like that, see. And they've been making mistakes and covering it up. And this pandemic, you know, they made a lot of mistakes on that, but they covered it up. And they're using this election to control your minds, put fear in your heart, and you done gave up thinking for yourself, thinking independently, thinking period, and going along with all this nonsense. Well, every now and then they have a whistleblower. Listen to this guy right here. He's going to blow the whistle on the whole operation.
The question of how and why the United Nations is the crux of the great conspiracy to destroy the sovereignty of the United States and the enslavement of the American people within a UN one-world dictatorship is a complete and unknown mystery to the vast majority of the American people. The reason for this unawareness of the frightening danger to our country and to the entire free world is simple. The masterminds behind this great conspiracy have absolute control of all of our mass communications media, especially television, the radio, the press, and Hollywood.
Now, that's true right there, because look at how they're controlling the media. They're controlling the media. They're controlling the press. They're controlling the radio. They're controlling the television. They're controlling the radio. They're controlling the press. And Hollywood. Now, that's true right there, because look at how they're controlling the media against Trump. Trump got a point, yeah. The local media, the national media, the international media got a Biden as the winner. Well, y'all know they've been manipulating the elections for years, you know, and they manipulate the way you think through mass media.
We all know that our State Department, the Pentagon, and the White House have brazenly proclaimed that they have the right and the power to manage the news, to tell us not the truth, but what they want us to believe. They have seized that power on orders from their masters of the Great Conspiracy. And the objective is to brainwash the people into accepting the phony peace bait to transform the United States into an enslaved unit of the United Nations One World Government. First of all, bear in mind that the so-called UN police action in Korea, fought by the United States, in which 150,000 of our sons were murdered and maimed, was part of the plot, just as the undeclared by Congress war in Vietnam, in which our sons are dying, is part of the plot, just as the plot against Rhodesia and South Africa, in which our sons will be dying, is part of the UN plot. However, the vitally important thing for all Americans, all you mothers of the boys who died in Korea and are now dying in Vietnam, to know is that our so-called leaders in Washington, whom we elected to safeguard our nation and our Constitution, are the betrayers, and that behind them are a comparatively small group of men whose sole objective is to enslave the whole world of humanity in their satanic plot of one world government. Now, in order to give you a very clear picture of this satanic plot, I will go back to its beginning, clear back in the middle of the 18th century, and name the men who put that plot into action, and then bring you down to the present, today's status of that plot. Now, as a matter of further intelligence, a term used by the FBI, let me clarify the meaning of the expression, "he is a liberal." The enemy, meaning the one world conspirators, have seized upon that word liberal as a cover-up for their activities. It sounds so innocent and so humanitarian to be liberal. Will make sure that the person who calls himself a liberal or is described as a liberal is not in truth a red. Now then, this satanic plot was launched back in the 1760s when it first came into existence under the name of the Illuminati. This Illuminati was organized by one Adam Weishaupt, born a Jew, who was converted to Catholicism and became a Catholic priest.
Now, when you watch this movie, The Day of Wrath, you'll see what he was talking about just then. We're going to come back tomorrow, close down shop for today. Tomorrow's Sunday. I believe it's the 21st. This is Black Light. Peace. No. War. And then peace.